Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. And right now, we're accepting investors in our $17 million round to revolutionize the future of social media. Today, for just $399, you can own 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. While the big platforms have grown too massive and disconnected from their users, Fanbase is building a platform where creators and users truly come first. We've already raised $4.8 million from everyday investors who believe in this vision, and now you can join them. This is your chance to invest in a social media tech company with over 1 million users that is disrupting media by allowing anyone to reach all of their following and monetize their content from day one. The market is changing, big platforms are failing to serve their users, and Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now. Invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the future of social media.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Black power.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Today's Monday, February 3rd, 2025, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. The twice impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief Donald Trump talking about being an idiot. He is threatening to cut U.S. funding to South Africa over their land law, you know, the law where they are taking back land that the racist whites stole from black people. Why all of a sudden does he care about that? Oh, it could be because Elon Musk, you know, apartheid Elon Musk hates that. Speaking of apartheid Elon Musk, He is trying to get rid of the USAID office. Democrats protested that outside of the building today. And why is he doing that? Oh, because the USAID office played a role in ending racist apartheid. Donald Trump, how stupid is he? He announces tariffs against Canada and Mexico. What happens? The stock market today dropped 600 points. Then, he announces it's going to be a 30-day reprieve. Canada and Mexico played this idiot so bad because they told him they're going to do things that they've already announced under President Biden. Y'all, he's an idiot. The new leader of the Democratic National Committee, Ken Martin, promises that the party will undergo major changes after he was elected DNC Chair over the weekend. Plus, an Atlanta megachurch partners with the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce for a 40-day fast that targets Target. We'll show you what Reverend Jamal Bryant had to say in his church on yesterday and talk to Ron Busby, who leads the U.S. Chamber. A Georgia judge has dropped the most serious charges against the former prosecutor who refused to prosecute the 3 white men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. And while Grammy-winning producer Kenneth Babyface Edmonds faced disrespect on the red carpet at the Grammys, from these dumb AP reporters, Beyonce makes history, and she got these country people, these country music fans, really upset. They'll get over it. It's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, rolling with Roland now. He's funky, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now. Martin.
Stock market dropped more than 600 points this morning after the news hit regarding Donald Trump imposing these tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Canada and Mexico responded, and that's why those numbers went way, way down. Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out and says, oh no, I talked to them and we're going to have a deal. So Mexico, they're going to add 10,000 troops to the border. But Mexico also says, y'all got to do more to stop these guns coming into Mexico. Problem is, Mexico agreed to 15,000 new troops on the border when Biden was president. Then Canada announces, hey, we're going to move forward with our $1.3 billion plan to fight fentanyl coming across the Canadian border. His only problem, they announced it in December when Biden was still president. But see, MAGA is so dumb, if they actually believe that Trump, oh my goodness, by calling for the tariffs, he made them move. No, what he did is he pissed off Canada. Watch this.
We are here this morning, my friends, as an unlikely group with leaders from across the political spectrum who've come together with cultural leaders, artists, academics, athletes, labor activists, and Indigenous militant activists. We represent the incredible regions of our beautiful country, and we are here for one reason. Our nation, our beloved Canada, is under threat. It is an economic threat, but it's also a threat to our values of decency and inclusion. It's a threat to our sovereignty and our very future as a nation. The threat comes, of course, from the President of the United States, a convicted felon and known predator. He's threatening massive tariffs to try and break us as a people. But the threat is also being driven by the hate algorithms of the oligarchs like Elon Musk. And there is the threat from people in our own country who would sell out our birthright to appease the gangster class from Mar-a-Lago. That is not going to happen. This morning, we launched the Pledge for Canada. We have signatories from across the cultural and political spectrum. We are asking Canadians to join and sign on today. It's a plan of resistance supporting a vision of our nation and what it should be and what it is that will not be traded away by appeasement. And it's a pledge for ordinary Canadians to hold their elected representatives to account, to defend our values that we hold dear.
All right, now here's the deal. Canadian stores were to start pulling American products off their shelves. They even announced, some regions said that they're not going to buy alcohol from red states. Also, at some of the basketball games in Canada, when the national anthem was played, guess what? Fans booed. But what this shows how stupid MAGA is. Because throughout the election, Donald Trump kept talking about, how we're going to make so much money off of tariffs. We're going to make so much money, and it's going to fund so many programs. Well, now I'm confused. If tariffs are going to fund so many programs, then why are you canceling the tariffs? Here's an idiot Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina on Fox News.
This trade war that has erupted involving the U.S., Mexico, China, and Canada. Will it drive up consumer prices?
There is a potential risk, as Donald Trump mentioned, but Canada and Mexico, let's face it, these are the facts. They made their bed, and now they can lie in it. I was just participated in a raid on Friday with ICE and HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, and they were there to deport an individual, a young man, 18-year-old from South America, who a week ago had 3.5 grams of fentanyl, enough to kill 100, maybe 1,000 people or more. These cartels, Tren de Agua, TDA, and the Sinaloa cartel, MS-13 gangs, they're everywhere across my home state of South Carolina. They're everywhere across every community across the country. And we have to play hardball with these countries who know where the meth labs are. They know where fentanyl is coming in. They know where illegals are coming in, pouring into our country, killing us even in many of our communities.
How stupid is Nancy Mace? Most of the fentanyl that's actually coming to the United States is being smuggled in by Americans. Yep. Those are the facts. Trump also keeps lying when he says that, 300,000 people are dying because of fentanyl. Nope, fentanyl deaths have been dropping the last 2 years, and most reports put it at little more than 100,000. Still a significant number, but it's also a lie. He's calling it 3 times larger. At the end of the day, what's happening here is MAGA is stupid. They're stupid. They're dumb. They're not very smart people. And so when this idiot says something, they go, that's right, look at that, he's making America first again. Yeah, but the value is going up. And here's the fact. After Donald Trump saw the stock market drop 600 points today, that idiot knew he had to reverse because his ego can't handle seeing the stock market drop under his watch. Because he's a liar. That's what he is. He's a lying idiot. And so all of these people who think somehow that these tariffs are going to make a huge difference, again, they're not very smart people. They're not, okay? And his fan base, they believe the stupidity. They really do. They have no problem at all somehow just falling for the okie doke and just, things are gonna be, well, he said it, and these things are gonna happen, so I think if Donald said it, those things must be coming true. Yo, these people are literally dumb. Then you got these dumb people who sit there and go, well, if Kamala Harris, if she had talked more about the tariffs, I think she would have did better. She did. She talked repeatedly. She constantly said what's going to happen if we make these moves. But a lot of people were not paying attention. People were focused on other things. And now they're learning the hard way. As expected, my pal, Dr. Ahmaud Arbery, Senior Professorial Lecturer, School of International Service, American University, author of Lies About Black People, How to Combat Racist Stereotypes and Why It Matters. Teresa Lundy, Principal and Founder of TML Communications, joining us from Philadelphia. Jesse Hamilton McCoy, Clinical Professor of Law, Supervising Attorney with the Duke Law Civil Justice Clinic. Glad to have all 3 of you here. This is really laughable watching these idiots on the Congo. They think, oh my God, Trump 2.0, he is just. pulling all levers of the government, and he is just moving fast to dismantle everything. That's what they're doing. You know, and then again, they love this lie. This idiot Ben Shapiro. There's this tweet right here again, and this is just how dumb they are. President Trump just used tariffs as leverage again and got a win. Nobody uses leverage like the president. Nobody. Check out the full show today for my full analysis. Just listen to some of this stupidity from Ben Shapiro.
It was built by the United States back in the early 20th century, late 19th century, and President Trump has wanted to maintain control over the Panama Canal. It was handed over to the Panamanian government by Jimmy Carter, and that final facilitation of transfer happened in the 1990s over the course of time. And in the meantime, the Chinese have been using extraordinary power, bribery, graft in order to take control of two ends of the Panama Canal. We have here a map of the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal.
They're all, it's leverage or whatever, but here's the deal. It tanked the economy. And they ain't that dumb. They knew that if this went on 2 more days, 3 more days, 4 more days, 5 days, you were going to see the stock market lose 2,000-3,000 points, and that wasn't going to happen.
And this is going to be the case for the next 4 years. And it's like, buckle up, America, because the fact of the matter is, it's like, even if this was a victory, which of course is not for all of the reasons you mentioned, the fact of the matter is that Americans are going to be in a perpetual state of potential panic every 30 days. You saw that, you know, unions, farmers groups, and all of these organizations were contacting the Trump administration saying, don't do this, it's going to hurt us. People start preparing for that. You see people like Senator Chuck Grassley asking for an exemption from his state, because of what was about to happen. So what's his name, Mitch McConnell on 60 Minutes talking about it's going to be a problem. And so now everybody gets tense, everybody gets nervous, and then it's like, oh, 30-day pause. There's real stress that comes with this. There's real preparation that families have to start making, that companies have to start making. Some of these companies are going to already start raising prices, Roland, just so they can kind of get over, because there's a little bit of people are kind of expecting it. So that's going to happen as well. And so this 30-day policy is working for nobody. Like you said, the stock market, you know, sinking as well. And so this is not leadership in any way, shape, or form. One of the biggest things that people were looking up in terms of definitions after the election was, what's a tariff? So he's preying on people's ignorance as it relates to this. Our economy is going to tank because of this. And the fact of the matter is, people think that just because there's a 30-day pause, that prices are still not going to be rising in some way, shape, or form, because fear leads to inflation. And people are already seeing eggs be up. Gas prices are already going to be going up. So this isn't an end-all, be-all. And the fact of the matter that, you know, Canada, you know, booing folks at the All-Star game, I mean, at the NHL games, the NBA games, and so on and so forth, you don't attack your allies and partners with tariff wars. And of course, China got a lower tariff percentage in terms of what was threatened with 10%. And that's all Elon Musk related and the like. Americans, you have to demand more. And I'm sorry, and the Nancy Mace thing about, oh, these drug mules and all of that, they got all of this information and they know this and you know who also knows stuff, Roland? FBI agents. The people y'all are also getting rid of in terms of field officers and the like, who are also doing this job to combat fentanyl and the like. So this is just a 360-degree lie, and I'm glad that we're here exposing that, because Americans need to know better. And this is the work that we're going to have to do in order to every single day educate people on the BS.
Here's what is hilarious to me, Teresa, you know, Trump is all in his feelings, talking about Canada and fentanyl. This is the CNN story. Canada makes up 0.2% of U.S. border fentanyl seizures. 0.2%. That's nothing. I mean, when we say minuscule, that's minuscule. Look at this here. Federal statistics show U.S. border authorities seize 21,889 pounds of fentanyl in 2024. The Canadian border, 43 pounds. Dude, stop it. And then, because this was his tweet, Canada has agreed to ensure that we have a secure northern border and to finally end the deadly scourge of drugs like fentanyl that have been pouring into our country. And then he's touting Canada will implement their $1.3 billion border plan. But Teresa, it was announced in December under President Biden.
I think what members are seeing, especially in the Trump administration, is that what was supposed to be the talking point and the narrative that was going into how to make America great again, they started to realize that Biden's administration was the one who actually had their feet on the pedal getting the work done.
Wait, hold on. Got it done without the stock market dropping.
Yeah, it's like, again, when you hire the right people, when you include DEI, when you include, making sure that we are at the table, because, again, I know this whole DEI conversation is going to come up, but making sure that people who are qualified and that, look like every race that that is a part of American culture is at the table, we start to see the changes in how leadership and government actually happens. So when Trump's team is, literally making these announcements, that's because they know people aren't really reading. And so, I kind of have to go back to our White House, what is her name? Press secretary, I forget her name, but the one who opened up the floodgates for, we're opening up the media outlets to every single person. And that's because they know that the credited media that is not doing misinformation is the one that's actually going to give you some of the numbers and the facts that people actually need to govern their lives and know what's going on in the world. Not the ones who, okay, that's the fact, I'm not going to fact check it, I'm not going to check any stats, I'm not going to get any witnesses, I'm not going to talk to anybody who actually knows what's going on, and we're just going to put it out. And so it makes it very hard for people when they're trying to get some of this news about what's going on in the White House and what's going on in the country to really try to figure out the best way of moving, in the right direction.
This is the one that I really crack up laughing the most here, Jesse. Go to my iPad. So Trump's like, yes, Mexico's going to be adding 10,000 troops to the border. Well, they added 15,000 under Biden, and he didn't have to threaten it with tariffs. But again, this is what real negotiation is like. But again, MAGA is so dumb, they actually think he accomplished something when he didn't.
Very much so. And I think one of the things that we've consistently seen with both Trump administrations at this point is the focus on how he brands the things that he is trying to do. There are policies that he puts in place, for instance, these tariffs, that don't make sense, that haven't been necessary, and that he believes that by promoting, it's going to galvanize Americans to support his America First agenda. Those people don't necessarily understand the ways that tariffs hurt Americans and making the cost for us more, but it also hurts when it comes to international business and cost of goods from other places that we have come to rely on being more expensive. Yet, as long as he can brand it in such a way that makes them feel like he's the one who somehow controls the pillars of power in his palm, it draws people back to him, and I just can't understand it. I think also people don't do a lot of deep diving when it comes to the policy work. It's not something that's always out front or always the sexy issue to report about. But when Trump says it, or I should say when he tweets it at 2 o'clock in the morning, for some reason, a lot of people take that as gospel. And I don't really understand the disconnect that people have when it comes to investigating policies and the politicians that make them versus looking at something that seems to be just a spectacle.
When you're dealing with really dumb people, that's what you get. All right, gonna go to a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the mayhem with USAID, how Elon Musk is trying to destroy that agency. Also, why is Donald Trump all of a sudden targeting South Africa? That's also a tie to apartheid Elon Musk, which is tied to USAID. We'll discuss that next on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
What's up, y'all? Look, Fanbase is more than a platform. It's a movement to empower creators, offering a unique opportunity for everyday people to invest in Black-owned tech, infrastructure, and help shape the future of social media. Investing in technology is essential for creating long-term wealth and influence in the digital age. The Black community must not only consume tech, we must own it.
Discover how equity crowdfunding can serve as a powerful tool for funding Black businesses, allowing entrepreneurs to raise capital directly through their community through the Jobs Act.
Now that Roland Martin is willing to give me the blueprint, hey, Cyrus, I need to go to Tyler Perry and get another blueprint because I need some green money. The only way I can do what I'm doing, I need to make some money. So you'll see me working with Roland. Matter of fact, it's the Roland Martin and Cheryl Underwood show. Well, should it be the Cheryl Underwood show and the Roland Martin show? Well, whatever show it's going to be good.
All right, folks, a huge battle is taking place right now in the federal government regarding the USAID agency. Now, what is that? That is an agency created by Congress to provide billions of dollars to various countries for a variety of reasons. Well, Elon Musk and his minions, they have been targeting USAID. They were able to access their offices, lock out employees, and shut down grants that have been going out. This has caused significant mayhem across the country. Democrats held a news conference today outside of the USAID office where they talked about what's going on here and how literally a coup is underway in this country. Here's Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
It is really, really a sad day in America. We are witnessing a constitutional crisis. We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like. When you gut the Constitution and you install yourself as the sole power, that is how dictators are made. What Trump and Elon and all of their cronies are trying to do is take away the constitutional power of Congress. We get to decide. We have the power of the purse. We get to decide where money is allocated, and it's the executive's power to make sure that that money gets to where it needs to get. When we talk about civil servants being let go, what we are talking about is not saving money. It's essentially saying they can get paid while they're home and their work doesn't get done on behalf of the American people. It is us, taxpayers, who are being ripped off. It is us, taxpayers, who are not getting the resources that we paid into. So I ask the American people, do you want people at home and getting a paycheck and not providing services to you? The answer is no. Do you want the executive making the only decisions in this country, or do you want the elected representatives that you sent to Washington making those policies? I am exceptionally upset about USAID. I lived in a refugee camp for 4 years as a child surviving civil war. It is the essential programs that USAID provided that kept my family and I fed and safe. It is the resources that so many people around the world rely on. And it is our soft power. Oftentimes, people interact with our country through the military. That does not create love for us, and it certainly does not keep us safe. When the world interacts with Americans through programs that provide essential need, they get to see the heart and compassion of the American people. That's right.
Elon Musk has been floating all sorts of awful, terrible conspiracy theories about what happens at USAID. Let's make it very clear that every single day, America is safer because of what happens at USAID. USAID fights terrorist groups all across this world, making sure that we address the underlying causes for a retreat to terrorism. USAID chases China all around the world, making sure that China doesn't monopolize contracts for critical minerals and port infrastructure all around the world. It supports freedom fighters everywhere in this world. Up until yesterday, delivering firewood, for instance, to the brave Ukrainian defenders on the Eastern Front. But let's not pull any punches about why this is happening. Elon Musk makes billions of dollars based off of his business with China. And China is cheering at this action today.
Now you might ask, USAID, why is this such a big deal? Well, Elon Musk has called this an evil agency that needs to be shut down, loads of corruption. Russia also hates the USAID agency. So now all of a sudden, Trump then, out of the blue, starts attacking South Africa and bringing this up. Now you may say, well, wait a minute, like, where is this coming from? This is this idiot on Fox News.
That you were going to cut aid from South Africa. Will you plan to cut aid across other African nations, and why South Africa?
No, it's only South Africa. Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
So now you might be saying, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, what's the connection here? What is the big deal? Why all of a sudden is Donald Trump weighing in on South Africa? Do y'all have the video of the South African president responding? We have that? All right, so first of all, this is the dumb tweet Donald Trump put out. Pull the tweet up, please. Pull the tweet up. Pull that tweet back up, come on. His tweet on South Africa, his tweet of South Africa. Pull it up, thank you. Pull it up. South Africa is confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly. It is a bad situation the radical left media doesn't want to so much as mention. A massive human rights violation at a minimum is happening for all to see. The United States won't stand for it. We will act. Also, I'll be cutting off all future funding to South Africa until a full investigation of the situation has been completed. And I'll help you out. Let me help y'all out. We're going to play for you in a second the South African president responding. This was interesting. Y'all know that 3 of the biggest billionaires supporting Donald Trump all come from apartheid South Africa? Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, David Sachs. All three, white men, South Africans. So all of a sudden, this is a major deal. Elon Musk has been showing you his racist views, how he has been supporting right-wing efforts in Germany, telling the Germans, y'all focus too much on the past. You should really be focusing on the future. But he's focused on the past, dealing with South Africa, because he can't stand the fact that USAID played a role in ending racial apartheid. I'll cover that in a second. But here's the response of the South African president.
This issue that Donald Trump fears so much, we offer this question of the land. I don't know what Donald Trump has to do with South African land, because he's never been here. And he must keep his America, we will keep our South Africa. That is what he must do. South Africa is our land. South Africa belongs to all the people who live here in South Africa. It does not belong to Donald Trump. He can keep his America. And Ene is even worse. He's even worse. When I meet him, I will tell him. I'll say, you, Donald Trump, you are even worse because your forebears came to America. They found the indigenous Americans They wiped them out. They killed nearly all of them. Rine, we are living as a nation, and black and white, we are going to find solutions for our land question. So Donald Trump must leave us alone. He must leave us alone, Bauri. When we were facing apartheid, when we were facing oppression, he was not here. He did not fight side by side with us. And we were able, on our own, yes, with support of progressive forces in the world, to resolve the apartheid question. As far as I recall, Donald Trump was not around the negotiating table when we negotiated the end of apartheid. So stick around there in the White House. We will do our business here, and we will find solutions for our problem. So stay out of our issues, and we will not get involved in your issues in America. You have your own problems. Leave us alone.
So President Cyril Ramaphosa, go to my iPad. He issued a statement saying, first of all, they're not seizing land. He said that the law recently signed on land expropriation struck a careful balance between using land for public good and protecting private property rights. That's what he said. And so, now remember, Trump also raised this issue the first time he was there by saying that they were seizing the land from white South Africans and it was rife. Well, it was a lie being pushed by right-wing groups in South Africa. So that's what you're dealing with. All this is important because, again, all these things are tied. Elon Musk hating on USAID is because of the role that they played in ending apartheid. And that just drives him crazy. This story here lays it out. Give me a second, I'll pull it up. It says, USAID fought apartheid, Musk is trying to kill it. That is really important because you have to understand history, y'all. You have to understand history and what is going on. So in order to realize this, he can't stand the fact of what happened to white rule in South Africa. And now he's trying to seek justice. Melvin Foote is the president of the Constituency for Africa. He has been involved in African relations for more than 4 decades. Glad to have you back on the show, Melvin. There is no doubt, Melvin, that these attacks on USAID by Elon Musk is because of retribution for the role they played during apartheid in South Africa. And for Trump to try to stick his nose in the business of South Africa is utterly ridiculous when it is a black-dominated country, but the reality is far more than a supermajority of the land owned in that country is still owned by racist white folks.
Well, nothing to argue with you there. Your facts are correct. Absolutely, this is tied to Elon Musk, and Trump really doesn't know what's going on in Africa. Period. He goes bombs Somalia this week. Who told him to do that? And he's just killing some black folks, no problem. And certainly the South Africa situation is something he doesn't know anything about. But yet he's going to make these hard decisions about the economy of the South Africans and the United States. Very shocking and very disappointing, to say the least. By the way, I was at the rally today at USAID.
Explain to people exactly what USAID does.
Well, USAID is the foreign policy side of the U.S. government. Their job is basically to dispense aid and to help address a myriad of health problems, agriculture projects, water projects around the world. So they're the soft side of the U.S. government. You got the military on the one side, you got diplomacy on another side, and then you got the USAID in the middle that's providing food, providing hard to get HIV/AIDS drugs to people who need them. They're helping build water wells and that kind of thing. Now, I'm not perfectly 100% supportive of USAID myself. We're actually lobbying them to get more black businesses involved and to make sure the diaspora here is involved in implementing USAID programs. So part of my job is to lobby even USAID, but to try to totally eliminate it without any regard to what's going on in Sudan, without any regard to what's happening with HIV/AIDS patients, what's happening with Ebola, these sorts of things, without any consideration for that is totally irresponsible, and it certainly doesn't reflect well on the United States.
What people need to understand what is going on here, I mean, there's a coup that is taking place in terms of what Elon Musk is doing. Donald Trump is allowing him to do it because Elon, frankly, gave his campaign $300 million and helped him win. And what you have here is you have the settling of scores. However, as it relates to South Africa, who the hell is the United States to tell South Africa about land confiscation when they are still dealing with the economic calamities, economic fallout of racist apartheid, where a minority of whites controlled everything in that country, and they subjugated black people. They subjugated those black South Africans to a desolate life.
Yeah. The same thing is true of the tariffs in Canada and Mexico. I'm going to Canada on Thursday to Toronto, and I'm sure it's an Africa policy conference, but I'm sure the question is, what the heck is going on in the United States? I mean, you call yourself punishing your ally, your neighbor, when in fact, that's going to blow back and raise our own prices here. It's going to punish the American people. So you ask yourself, why he do these things? And I'm thinking that it's more as individuals making decisions. They're going to make money off of it. And so he'll go along with it because you make campaign contributions. And it's a very, very scary time for us here in this country. There's talks of dictatorship. There's talks of fascism. We wasn't around then, but maybe we're seeing it in real time as we talk.
Obviously, if you are South Africa or any African nation, and then you receive aid from the United States, you have to be worried about the insanity that's emanating from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah, you're concerned. I got calls from Liberia today. I'm getting calls from the different ambassadors who really want to know what is going on, because some of these countries in real time are figuring it out. This is going to devastate our economy. And they want to know, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? What's going to be? And I don't have the answer. You don't have the answer. None of us have the answer. We'll cut on the TV tomorrow morning. It'll be something totally different. My daughter, in fact, is with USAID. She's in Jamaica. And so I'm getting 3 calls a day from her. She won't push me to go to the rally. So the world doesn't know what to make of this. And I can guarantee you, countries across the world are totally discombobulated by what's going on, and certainly the countries in Africa, because they can't. You can't explain it. You can't say he has a new policy and this is what we have to do now. It doesn't make any kind of sense. Unilaterally putting tariffs on countries. What are you going to do for Africa with the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act? Is he going to add tariffs? That's not in the interest of the United States. And so the countries in Africa, I would say across the board, are shaking and with no understanding about what's happening.
Questions from my panelists. Teresa, you first. What do you have for Milton Foot?
Well, thank you so much for attending the rally. I just wanted to hear a little bit about maybe what some of the speakers were advocating for at the rally and maybe some of the outcomes you guys desired to have.
Well, we're all Democratic members of Congress, and of course they tried to enter USAID and got turned away. Remember, the Congress got turned away from USAID. Unbelievable. So a lot of it was really pushing back on what has happened in the last 24 hours. What is happening in terms of USAID and cutting foreign aid unilaterally. Congress is the vehicle that appropriates money. And so you're circumventing Congress because you're not giving them or the American people a return on what they are putting their money for. You're telling people you're going to be suspended, so go home and collect a paycheck. Well, this is not what the Congress wanted. They didn't want people to stay home collecting paychecks. They wanted them to go out and help people around the world, address their food, water, and health issues. So a lot of it was explaining these kinds of things and really encouraging people to stand up and support, push back. There's a sense that a lot of Republican members of Congress are not thrilled by what's happening either. And so maybe some of them will decide to join with the Democrats to try to bring some sanity back to the public policy arena.
I got no faith that's going to happen. Makongo.
Thank you, Mr. Foote, for your tireless work over these decades. I really just speak for a lot of people in saying thank you. Oh, my question is, could you speak about the real on-the-ground consequences of what's happening right now? I hear stories about hospitals closing, potential rises in aid, food not getting distributed. And part of me feels like this is part of Elon Musk's racist view towards Black people, and it's a way to punish them. But what are the real consequences on the ground for people in African countries right now?
Well, one of the realities of USAID is 80% of the money that USAID dispenses for developing countries actually ends up in the United States. We're buying General Motor vehicles. We're buying food products from the United States. The money is actually spent with businesses here. And that's why a lot of these entrepreneurs here are not happy about that. This is their bread and butter also. I think a lot of the consultants who the U.S. Has engaged to help with these processes, they're being laid off. And so that means that the projects themselves are being mothballed. Nothing is happening. Nobody's going to the village, and things are just coming to a grinding halt. It's hard to say exactly what's going on right now, but I can tell you it's not good. And I can say that even if you tried to reverse it tomorrow, it'll take a while to ramp back up and to get back to where you were. And that's part of the problem. This is not a overnight kind of a thing you can do. You close the office overnight, tell people that they're furloughed, and you think you can put them back together in 1 week? I don't think so. So it just created a whole lot of chaos and a misunderstanding about what's going on. And then the health systems and the agriculture systems and the systems that USAID has been supporting are grinding to a halt.
Well, not only that, as we heard that news conference, you had some Syrian troops who walked away from their jobs because they weren't getting paid. And so when you just unilaterally just cut folks off, there are real world implications to these decisions. And unfortunately, you just have a fool who has been allowed to infiltrate so many parts of this economy. And he's just making rash decisions, not thinking, and he's got a band of 18 to 24-year-olds who are leading the effort, doing whatever the hell is it that they want to do. And so that's the problem that we have. Jesse, your question.
So I understand that this is part of Elon Musk's bigger strategy. And with him and this Department of Government Efficiency, I have serious concerns about security and just some of the access to information that he has from this control over USAID. Was there any discussion had during the demonstration today about potential court action? And are we optimistic about anything that the court's going to do?
There was talk about court action. There's apparently something going through the court right now. They're looking at some lawsuits and that kind of thing. But what Trump has basically corrupted the court system. So we saw what happened with the Supreme Court. How much faith do we have in the court system? And he's trying to set up a paradigm where he can move USAID under Mark Rubio has been named the acting director of USAID in addition to his portfolio as Secretary of State to give it some cover. But, you got other people who are going to talk about what's going to happen. One of the tragedies of all this is that our so-called enemies, China, Russia, and the Arab countries and so forth, they're having a field day because of this stupidity. And if we think we got problems now, the problems are going to mount years to come. And we're dependent on the African resources like the rest of the world, the lithium, the cobalt, the coltan, and all this other stuff. But we're dependent on it as these other countries are. And I think we're just handing them a silver spoon in these negotiations. We're really hurting ourselves. And I think that you're going to see Africans, rather than to come to the United States to go to school where they feel like they're going to get all kinds of problems, maybe they go to Beijing. Maybe they go to Moscow. I think in the long term, we're doing some irreparable harm with this policy.
All right, then, Melvin Foote, we appreciate it, man. There's lots of us to be focused on. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, folks, we come back. We're going to talk about Donald Trump hiring an unrepentant racist in his administration. I'm sorry, he hired him the last time. And now he's going to be serving in a major position for public diplomacy in the State Department. And why is the ADL deleting their press release slamming this racist? Oh, I got lots to talk about when we come back on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Don't forget, folks, support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. The goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing on average $50 each a year. That comes out to $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. You want to support us via a Cash App, give to us via the Stripe app. QR code is right there. You can also, of course, go to blackstarnetwork.com for that QR code. Check your money order, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 2003 7-0196. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. And right now, we're accepting investors in our $17 million round to revolutionize the future of social media. Today, for just $399, you can own 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. While the big platforms have grown too massive and disconnected from their users, Fanbase is building a platform where creators and users truly come first. We've already raised $4.8 million from everyday investors who believe in this vision, and now you can join them. This is your chance to invest in a social media tech company with over 1 million users that is disrupting media by allowing anyone to reach all of their following and monetize their content from day one. The market is changing, big platforms are failing to serve their users, and Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now. Invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the future of social media.
Hey, what's up? It's Sammy Roman.
Hey, it's John Murray, the executive producer of the new Sherry Shepherd Talk Show.
It's me, Sherry Shepherd, and you know what you're watching, Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Well, folks, that was this racist named Darren J. Beatty, who was fired in the first go-around as a speechwriter for Donald Trump because of him being a racist, attending white supremacist conference, and the views that he espoused. Well, guess what? He's back. He's now going to be the acting undersecretary for the State Department dealing with public diplomacy. That's right. So what does Darren really think about? Check out this. This was his tweet from October 4th. Competent white men, actually, let me pull it up for a second, y'all. He literally tweeted this here. No problem. See, these racists have no problem being out here. He tweeted, competent white men must be in charge if you want things to work. Unfortunately, our entire national ideology is predicated on coddling the feelings of women and minorities and demoralizing competent white men. That's a real tweet. In addition to that, he had more to say on this here. He said, I don't know about you, but I think that we've heard enough complaining from women and minorities. The entire purpose of this nation is to coddle the feelings of women and minorities, agonizing to think of what could be possible if such undignified and lowbrow nannyism were abandoned. Yep. How about the public diplomacy when it comes to that? And he had tweeted this on January 6th, y'all, 2021. Tim Scott needs to learn his place and take a knee to MAGA. Ibrahim Kendi needs to learn his place and take a knee to MAGA, learn his proper role in our society. BLM must take a knee to MAGA. They must learn their place. K. Cole James of the Heritage Foundation, the first black CEO of the Heritage Foundation, needs to learn her natural place and take a knee to MAGA. That's what he said. Now, the ADL this was the initial statement. For a while there, they had deleted this, but they had posted this. This was when the first go around. It is downright shocking that the White House has appointed Darren Beatty, who once attended an event with white supremacists and participated in a panel discussion with white nationalist Peter Brimlow, to serve as a member of a commission specifically created to help preserve the memory of Jewish victims of Nazi atrocities during the Holocaust. Beatty spoke at a conference of the racist and extremist H.O. Mencken Club, where he participated in a discussion with Brimlow, the creator of the racist and anti-immigrant website VDare. As we have said before, there's no place in any presidential administration or government commission for an individual who would attend and participate in such well-known racist events. Now, again, that was last time, but check this out. So the ADL also posted this on their Twitter feed. Dan Beatty has no place in a role representing American values abroad as acting under Secretary of State for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs. Throughout the years, Beatty has participated in several conversations and events organized by notorious racists, anti-Semites, and white supremacists, and has continuously promoted an array of conspiracy theories, including those related to the January 6th insurrection and the Great Replacement theory embraced by anti-Semites and white supremacists. It's no shock who they are, Jesse, because guess what? Trump has said it's good. It's no problem to be a racist. You are more than welcome in my administration. You're on mute. You're on mute. There you go. Go ahead.
The hard part is it's kind of difficult to convince people otherwise, because he's been racist. Like last time when we went through the same thing with him and Steve Bannon, and now I guess he's got his new person. I think the concern here is for the folks in our nation who don't see it. And I'm not quite sure what to make of that. It sounds like this person, obviously has his strong-held beliefs and views, and he's entitled to believe whatever he wants to believe. But it seems very, very shocking that he would be able to get a position with access to any sort of policy that has to deal with everybody, because...
Now, remember, he was fired before.
Correct.
Once it was exposed, he went to the conferences. He's since tweeted these racist views, and they're like, we're good. Come on in.
Absolutely. We know that this is what this administration is wanting to do and say, and how this administration feels. And while people still somehow find ways to support and do all kinds of mental gymnastics to get around it, I think that proof is that birds of a feather are flocking together. He told you what he is. He's been fired. He's been brought back. There's something about him that this administration values.
They love racists. They got no problem with these bigots, Amakongo. It's who they are.
Like attracts like. And really, at the end of the day, the fact that they continue to just peel it all off to let everybody know where folks at. People still too busy dealing with tariffs and USAID and all that, and they think that these types of nominations are going to sweep under, the rug. But I'm glad that ADL spoke up about this. I mean, I think the man is also Jewish, as far as if I can recall. When Biden came in, he removed him from a committee that was looking over various sites, relating to the Holocaust and the like. But the question is, even when we talk about USAID and other things, people talk about what are the Democrats going to do? What are Democrats going to do? What are the Republicans doing about any of this stuff, right? They're in the majority, of all of these spaces and places, and they're not calling this out. And so as many people try to put pressure on what the Democrats need to do, are they having press conferences and the like, Republicans need to be calling this out as well. And if they're not, we need to be calling them out as supporting a racist administration, because you can't say you're not supporting a racist administration that's literally hiring racists, open racists, and putting them in their department. So this is the time where if we're going to talk about like attracts like, we got to blanket it all together. And to not do that is going to be really problematic going forward. We got new DNC officers and so on and so forth. Are they talking about this? Are they calling this out? Are they drafting press releases about this? Document all of these. Pull this segment from the Black Star Network. Do whatever it takes to let people know that for y'all who don't want to talk about race, you want to talk DEI and so on and so forth, the guy is actually putting outright racist in. Guys like Stuart Rhodes are allowed back in D.C. again. It is nonstop with that. This party is racist. Call it out and be clear about that.
I think, Teresa, from a communication strategy, I think the Democrats' response so far has been underwhelming. It's nice. I think I would say atrocious. Thank goodness they finally organized that news conference today in front of the USAID office that was long overdue. Brian Schatz, who's a U.S. Senator from Hawaii, has announced that until they restore the office, he is going to stop every State Department nominee that comes up from the Trump administration. Good. That needs to happen. When I look at what's happening, the direct file program that allows for taxpayers to bypass TurboTax or all these other different companies out here, that effort will save taxpayers some $11 billion. Well, Elon Musk is gloating how he's gotten rid of it. And so if you're a working class person, okay, any parts of the country, rural city, what the hell? Why would you get rid of that program? And so they have to be a lot more vocal. And this is where, hey, you don't control the House or the Senate. You use every lever. You stop appointments. You shut everything down. You file lawsuits. You go have a news conference every single day in front of a federal agency. That to me, from a comm standpoint, is how they need to be responding.
You're absolutely right. As we look at some of our higher national organizations from the NAACP, Urban League, and the like, we should be telling them and asking them, where is the outrage? I think the most energy I saw in the last 4 years was when we were trying to get Harris into the White House. And if only, we can keep that same energy, keep the same fundraising apparatus at a very high level, making sure that we're still hitting neighborhoods, making sure that the talking points are running. With all these new media outlets, there is an opportunity to let people know about what's happening in the Trump White House. So the communication strategy, Roland, as you stated, needs to be clear. We need to keep hitting doors. We need to be doing press conferences. We need to be hitting every station. We need to be hitting every outlet, but also asking our leading organizations who are getting tons of money from philanthropy organizations and also corporations and also everyday people who support the mission to make sure that we are making our voice heard, but also let's actually put a plan around it. And I'm hoping, especially with the new DNC chair and other statewide elected offices that are happening between now and next year, that we'll start to see I just got tongue-tied. We'll happen to see that happen quite quickly.
Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic Minority Leader, released this 9-point plan. Go to my iPad, where he talked about challenging the Republicans on what he called the effort to steal taxpayer money from the American people. Legislation will be introduced shortly to prevent unlawful access to the Department of Treasury. He talked about in a partnership with the Democratic Policy and Communications Committee, continue to highlight Republican policies that raise the already high cost of living. Judiciary and Oversight Committee Democrats will detail for the caucus the ongoing anticipated litigation efforts to combat several of the unlawful executive actions. Also, he talked about here where what the whip will be doing. Peter Aguilar of the Immigration Working Group, House Appropriation Committee Democrats, what they will continue to do, and on and on and on. But this to me, Omokongo, has to be a very aggressive public situation. You must be, like, for instance, they shut down rural.gov. People in rural America don't have access to information. They should be putting a face on every single one of these actions. The face of these actions should not be Democrats in D.C. complaining. It should be regular, ordinary people who are being affected by these corrupt, evil changes.
Yeah, and one of Biden's biggest regrets was he said that he didn't sell stuff more. He didn't convince people of all the things that they were doing more. Democrats can't make that mistake right now. You talked about this before. They shouldn't do a single thing without someone talking about how they benefited from student loans, during the campaign. They have to do that now. One of the segments on Black Star Network I haven't watched yet was your clip about how Democrats make the mistake of not going in front of, independent media enough. There are no. Have they pulled any stories from their federal loan cancellation or federal programs that Trump tried to cancel when so many people were concerned about Medicaid and Medicare and all of these other issues? Are they pulling those stories? Are they letting those people talk? I was very surprised, quite honestly, the way that Representative Ilhan Omar, who we all respect, was prominently featured in that press conference, because the Democratic Party over the election were trying to silence voices like her and Rashida Tlaib, in my opinion. So let those voices out. With Kenyatta and Hogg out there as well, who know new media platforms. They have an opportunity. Trump in 14 or 15 days has given them so much fodder. But my concern, Roland, is that he's throwing so much at them that, by the time they get on one step, he's on to step 2, 3, and 4. That's why they need to have a multifaceted team. They need to have a rapid response media team taking advantage of all the social media platforms, because I refuse to believe that these folks in rural America can't be reached because they only watch Fox and so on and so forth. They care about their bills. They care about their electricity, their water, their eggs, and machinery, just like everybody else. And they will listen if they actually find somebody who they believe represents their interests. And so Democrats have to do this. It hasn't even been a month, Roland. They should be seizing on this right now. They don't have a minute to waste.
Here's what's crazy here, Jesse. Go to my iPad. Let me give 1 second. Let me pull this up. Elon Musk touted firing the group that led the direct file. And one of these tech bros put out 18F, the far left government-wide computer office that was recently taken over by the allies of Elon Musk. It's also the same agency that built Elizabeth Warren's direct file tax program. Okay, now they're complaining that direct file was unconstitutional and was wrong. Okay, here's a story right here that says it helped people file their taxes simple. Had a 76% approval rating for registered voters. The direct file tool was highest among tax filers who earn less than $50,000, 77%. Tax filers between 18 and 34, 81%. Black tax filers, 80%. After a right-wing influencer with 942,000 followers called out the direct file tax program as a far-left government-wide computer office created by Elizabeth Warren, Musk responded simply, that group has been deleted. To me, this is where, if you're a Democrat, I am finding me some broke white people from red states who use direct file. That's what I'm doing, and I'm not even sitting here waiting. I'm gonna sit here and say, yo, we're gonna flood them. We're gonna have hearings in the field. This is where you have to be winning the information war.
Absolutely. And I think one of the problems that we've been having consistently is the inability for Democratic Party to keep up with these trends so that they are on top of the social media presence, on top of generating stories for people who are actually impacted, because we already know what the other side is going to do. The other side is always going to brand it to their benefit. And much like my esteemed colleague said, the more that they're able to throw before the Democrats can even get organized to try to deal with some of the problems that we're having coming on board, the harder and harder it's going to be, and the further and further behind we're going to get in trying to deal with those issues. I think one of the concerns also is, I think in reading the statistics that you just read, it tells you exactly why Elon Musk is trying to get rid of it and why the administration is going to support what Elon Musk is trying to do. So I think I agree with you. Yes, we want to have also the face of white Americans who are impacted, but I think we can't navigate around the fact that, yet again, this is another example of a racist policy or something being done that is race-based to impact the group of people who have been most loyal to the party. And I think they owe it to us to make sure that they are fighting these battles, not just in assemblies, but publicly through every process that they have at their fingertips.
Absolutely. You have to use every lever possible. All right, y'all, quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Target, these call for boycotts, and how one Atlanta preacher is saying is calling for a moral call for a fast, a Target fast. I will explain when we come back on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
What's up, y'all? Look, Fanbase is more than a platform. It's a movement to empower creators, offering a unique opportunity for everyday people to invest in Black-owned tech, infrastructure, and help shape the future of social media. Investing in technology is essential for creating long-term wealth and influence in the digital age. The Black community must not only consume tech, we must own it.
Discover how equity crowdfunding can serve as a powerful tool for funding Black businesses, allowing entrepreneurs to raise capital directly through their community through the Jobs Act.
Hey, what's up? Geek Tony in the place to be. Got Kicked Out Your Mama's University, creator and executive producer of Fat Tuesdays, an air hip-hop comedy. But right now, I'm rolling with Roland Martin, unfiltered, uncut, unplugged, and undamn believable. You hear me?
Been frozen out.
Facing an extinction level event.
We don't fight this fight right now. You're not going to have Black ownership. Well, the folks at We Are Somebody, go by the Strike for All on social media, started their boycott of Target on Saturday. We had, of course, Anina Turner. This is her organization. Had her on the show on Friday. But on Sunday at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta, Reverend Jamal Bryant unveiled the religious leaders' response to economic empowerment. So listen to what he announced yesterday at church.
Calling the conscientious Christian community all over this country, the conscientious Christian community all over this country, I am calling for a 40-day fast from Target. Beginning on March the 5th. 100,000 conscientious Christians. You don't have to be Black, Latino, Asian, white, 100,000. You're going to sign this commitment to be a part of this 40-day fast. 100,000 of you bare minimal. I'm asking you that after service, you'll go to targetfast.org. Targetfast.org. I want you to share with everybody on your job, every person in your home, every person in your sphere of influence, every person who follows you on social media. I am believing for 100,000 people are going to sign this covenant commitment of not just prayer, but fasting from Target. Here's what is amazing. Listen to me, because what we learned from the Montgomery bus boycott is that racist America doesn't respond to speeches. They respond to dollars. Come on, and if they start losing $29 million a day for 40 days, we will break the back of the system. I want to go on record that not only am I asking you to fast for 40 days from Target, I am telling you to sell all of your Target stock. I want the stock to go down because we are standing in righteous indignation against racism and sexism in this nation. I hear the naysayers, I hear the pundits, I hear those who are detractors saying, how will this impact our Black businesses? I'm glad you asked. You at New Birth, you're not at their church. So as a consequence, when it is that you register to be a part of this 40-day fast, we have come into partnership with the National Black Chamber of Commerce. National Black Chamber of Commerce CEO is here with us on the day. Brother Busby, would you please stand? Thank you so very much for being with us from Washington, D.C. Listen to me very carefully. When you register for this fast, we will send you a digital directory of 300,000 Black businesses in America, where you can do your business instead of going to Target. Y'all not saying anything to me. You can buy black-owned paper towels and toilet paper and soap and dishwashing detergent. Do you know what it's going to be for America when we start shifting our own economic ecosystem and start investing in ourselves? Let me further say to all of the black vendors who presently have products in Target, we are not starting for 30 days because I want you to have enough time to shift all of your product digitally so that the community will be able to support you, your business will not fail, and your family will not suffer. Additionally, every black business that is not in the Black Chamber of Commerce, you got 30 days because the fast does not start until March the 3rd. I need Target to be on a full alert because we are operating in decency and in order. We are operating in decency and in order. We are operating in decency and in order. I'm going to say it again. We're operating in decency and in order. I'm saying this before they got a new FBI chief that calls us a terrorist organization. We doing it in decency and in order. Target, you got 40 days to pull it together because you made a commitment after the death of George Floyd that you would invest $2 billion into the black community before, watch this, December of 2025. So you to pull out of that commitment in January, you are reneging to the financial commitment you made to our people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You got 40 days before we shut all of it down. We are calling all of the stockholders to be accountable to the commitment that you made to black people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And I got naysayers saying, won't you just preach the gospel? I'm preaching the gospel. Jesus kicked over tables and used the whip to drive people out when they were out of order in handling God's people.
Joining us right now is Ron Busby. He is the president CEO of U.S. Black Chambers Inc. Glad to have you back on the show, Ron. So in terms of this support, this assistance for black-owned businesses, this list that's going out, walk us through that process.
There's the first way to get involved, as Pastor Bryant just discussed, is to go to fasttarget.org. It will give you information there. What we are doing in partnership with Reverend Bryant and New Birth is to give you tools that you can utilize during the fast. We're not here to tell you what not to do as much as we are here to tell you where you can support black-owned businesses, where you can spend your dollars. This is an economic agenda versus one of disobedience and disruption. We do want to disrupt what's going on at Target, but at the same time, we want to make sure and ensure that black-owned businesses are getting their access to the dollars that currently are going into the coffers of Target. So
go ahead.
Once you sign up to Target Fast, you will then be sent a toolkit, and part of that toolkit will be buyblack.us, which is the directory of black-owned businesses across the country. If you are a consumer, you can now say, hey, I really enjoyed supporting Target because of the black brands that I was able to buy and purchase while I was in the store. You can still support those brands as well as business owners by either going directly to their website to find where those products else can be found, or going directly to that business owner and purchasing it directly. You can go to USBC to find out how you can support other black-owned businesses outside of those that were found in Target, because we want to make this a long-term economic strategy. This is not just about the 40-day fast, but really is about changing the environment for black businesses as well as black consumers.
Have you or anyone else had any conversations with Target, its CEO, its board members, about their decision to pull back on their programs, to add more black-owned products to their shelves, and also that $2 billion annual commitment to spend on black-owned businesses?
We have not. Chambers, it is our role to really not to be antagonistic to any particular product and or business, but really to be more supportive, of black businesses. So we're going to make sure that the black businesses that are in Target, as well as black businesses that are not in Target, can be supported and be found by black consumers. I think now what we're seeing is that black people are seeing the power in their economic dollar. So as opposed to saying, hey, don't go to this store or go to that store, what we're seeing is every day there are new stores that are signing up saying, hey, we're going to remove our DE&I initiatives. And so as opposed to having lists that are good guys and bad guys, we're saying we know that black businesses are where the rubber hits the road. We know that they have been the economic agenda and the economic motor for this country. And so for us at the U.S. Black Chamber, we're making sure that we are giving people those tools to find those black businesses to keep those dollars in our communities.
Questions from the panel. Jesse, you're first.
So first of all, I like what you're doing. It sounds like it's a really good plan. I'm just curious, are there any other big box retailers that are scheduled for a similar boycott?
Target is the first one. They're one of the largest retailers in the country. Target was put on notice because of the commitments that they made before the murder of George Floyd, the commitments that they have made since the murder of George Floyd, and really their retaliation of those commitments and their reneging of those commitments. I would say that in the future, if it is successful, and I anticipate this being successful, that you will see that there will be other companies that will either follow suit in saying, okay, guys, we got to change our DE&I practices to go back to be in line with what our original commitments were, or you will see other businesses fall in line to say, okay, we're going to now fast, or as many people are saying, boycott those retailers as well.
Teresa?
Thank you so much for leading the charge on this. As I am looking at the website, I just want to make sure I am right. It's targetfast.org?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think, as you guys are standing in the gap for this, I'm a communication professional, so I definitely want to make sure that, make sure the website is a one-stop shop for all information. I think you guys are just doing great. I don't really have a question, but if you need any additional communication support, please make sure you reach out to Roland. They'll give you my contact information.
Well, make sure that you tell your listeners it is at byblack.us, buyblack.us, that they buy black-owned businesses. If they are a black business, they can offer their business there, that other consumers, conscientious consumers, can find them not just in the short term, but in the long-term conditions as well.
Congo.
Thank you so much for doing this. There's been so much talk about taking multiple months to do this, and this action is really incredible. The question I have is, are you experiencing any pushback from black suppliers to Target? Because there's always been a debate about, whether people should buy there, more of the black suppliers there. Are you experiencing any pushback from them for this?
Currently, we have some concerns with black suppliers that are in Target. And yes, there are going to be some businesses, and what you heard in the previous announcement from Pastor Bryant was that we are making sure that those businesses that are in Target currently have a window roughly between now and March the 3rd, March the 5th, to be able to take advantage of what we're doing here at Buy Black so that they can move their products out off the shelves or to find other avenues to sell their products. Target is not forcing those businesses to leave. We are giving them other options, other privileges to be able to find consumers. And I believe that we are taking the necessary steps to make sure that Target fills the burden, as well as the black consumers have the option of being able to buy those same products elsewhere other than business stores that don't appreciate our dollars.
Right then, so Ron, share the information again where people can get more information.
Go to fast.org, and if you're looking for black-owned businesses, go to byblack.us. And for general information on what's going on, not just with Target, not just during the DEI attacks, but what's going on around the country in reference to black economics, go to blackchambers.org to keep up with what we are doing nationally each and every day.
All right, so I'm on the, let me pull it up here. I'm actually on the map here. And so when it says Buy Black, and I go here and I see these cities pop up. So it says here, Oakland, Las Vegas, Tulsa, Louisville, Philadelphia, DC, Atlanta, New Orleans, Orlando, Miami. Explain that. I mean, I know, look out from Houston, you got Chicago, so explain this. Yeah,
those are the biggest places that we currently have that have the large warehouses that we get products out to you. Pseudo distribution areas of large Black-owned businesses that we can make sure consumers and interested suppliers can find.
All right, so
176 Black chambers that are all doing the same thing, that have access to Black-owned businesses, that have access to the Black Business Directory at Buy Black, that are also pushing the same initiative around the country. But those cities that you see there on the map are one of the first cities going across the country to make sure that this initiative is rolled out.
Got it. So, all right, so here's a perfect example. I just typed in, so explain to me how this works. So I typed in toilet paper, Washington, D.C., and then these are the search results. So I see a restaurant, I see a beauty supply, I see...
Yeah, if you go into the city, it will tell you, hey, here is the Black-owned businesses in Washington, D.C. That are currently in the Buy Black directory. And so you can hit on any one of those. It'll take you either directly to their website, or it can take you to information on those Black-owned businesses.
All right, so does it mean you're looking to, so let's just take Atlanta. So are you looking to, if folks have businesses, how can they add their information to this?
You go straight to buyblack.us. You can onboard your business free of charge. You can also get certified as a Black-owned business free of charge. There's a little bit of difference. We go through some more due diligence to ensure that you are who you say you are. That's for grants. That's for opportunities to do business with the state and or federal government. Those cities that you see there, we populate those cities with the businesses inside those. You can go by the city. You can go by category of business, or you can go by, if you're looking for toilet paper, for instance, you can go by that as well.
All right, and the other site is targetfast.com?
.org.
.org? Okay.
.org.
All right, give me 1 second. .org. Okay, all right, so this is the website here. Has all the information on here. And also lists the 4 demands as well.
Correct.
And these are the 4 demands are honoring their $2 billion pledge to the Black business community, deposit $250 million amongst any of our 23 Black banks, completely restoring the franchise commitment to DEI, pipeline community centers at TNHBCUs to teach retail business at every level. Okay? All right. Ron, we appreciate it.
Thank you, man, for having us. BYBLACK.us.
All right. All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All right, folks, going to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network. Don't forget, support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. You can, of course, give us via Cash App. We have the Stripe app. The QR code is right there. You can also send your checking money order to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 2003 7-0196. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. And right now, we're accepting investors in our $17 million round to revolutionize the future of social media. Today, for just $399, you can own 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. While the big platforms have grown too massive and disconnected from their users, Fanbase is building a platform where creators and users truly come first. We've already raised $4.8 million from everyday investors, who believe in this vision, and now you can join them. This is your chance to invest in a social media tech company with over 1 million users that is disrupting media by allowing anyone to reach all of their following and monetize their content from day one. The market is changing, big platforms are failing to serve their users, and Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now. Invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the future of social media.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Devon Frank.
I'm Dr. Robin B., pharmacist and fitness coach, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Case of the prosecutor who refused to prosecute the white men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. A Georgia judge has issued a directed verdict on one of those charges against Jackie Johnson. That's right. The judge ruled, senior judge John Turner ruled that the prosecution rested his case Monday afternoon on a motion by Johnson's lead defense attorney seeking a directed verdict on both charges against Johnson. The judge dismissed count 2, which involved obstruction of law enforcement in connection to the February 2020 shooting. Evidence will continue to be presented for count 1, which pertains to the violation of oath of office. Johnson's defense team is scheduled to begin calling witnesses and presenting evidence on Tuesday. So we're going to be continue to cover this story here. Last night, Grammys were pretty weird, okay? First of all, big night for Beyonce. But check this out, y'all. Social media was talking like crazy because Babyface, who's won, I think last count, 13 Grammys, was being interviewed by these Associated Press reporters. Then this happened.
Really at the forefront.
Y'all have their apology?
Can you talk about just this new trend that we're seeing in R&B where we're seeing more of a fusion? We're seeing people blend the genre with pop, blend the genre with hip-hop and rock as well.
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Chapel.
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
So sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. Hello, how's it going, Chapel? Hello.
Okay. So Leslie Ambritz and Krista Faria, okay? That's what they just did there. Now, y'all, I've been on numerous red carpets. There's a way for you to handle that. And they got ripped on social media, and they dropped this apology.
I want to thank you, but first I wanted to say that I'm really sorry about interrupting Babyface earlier. Chapel Roan had come up, and there was a lot of commotion, as there is on these carpets, but I'm a big Babyface fan, and as are we all, and so I just wanted to say that I really apologize. But thank you so much for having me, you guys. It's been great.
Okay, I don't know who the hell she is, but if I'm Associated Press, I'm never having her dumb ass back. Y'all, I've done red carpets. It ain't new. And what happens is when you're interviewing somebody and you might see someone who you perceive to be is a bigger star. And yes, you don't want to miss the moment, but there's a way for you to do that. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. And you can have somebody go do another interview and they'll actually come back to interview you. But that also goes to show you what happens on these red carpets and how black talent gets disrespected on these red carpets. And again, I can't tell you how many times I have been on carpets, and yeah, I've been in the middle of an interview with somebody, and then someone who's coming by who is bigger. And I can tell you, there are times when I'm sitting here interviewing somebody, I might reach out and hold that person's hand. I might motion with them like to hold on or whatever, or they'll like motion like I'll come back. All those things happen, but I'm gonna kind of go, that was trash. That was trash.
It was straight up disrespectful, and I don't care how big Chappelle Roan, Best New Artist or something like that is. They ain't got 13 Grammys. You know what I'm saying?
No.
The fact of the matter, when you're interviewing somebody, you're supposed to be treating them like the most important person in the world. And the fact of the matter is, she came off more as a fangirl than an actual reporter. And I'm glad that it got dragged across the internet. People think that this is like, oh, people making a big deal of this. No, you're supposed to respect the architects. You're supposed to respect the legends. And love Babyface or not, you got to respect the accomplishments. And again, just the lack of professional standards to be able to do something like that. And you're clearly a team of three. Like, you can figure out a way to have the other person go around and so on and so forth, and to have it, you know, and of course it's Babyface, you know, dignity. He's like, all right, y'all want to do that? He could have blasted them right there on the spot, but we know he wasn't going to do that because he knew that we were going to take care of this for him. So the fact of the matter is, even that apology, like you said, AP should never have them back on again. There are better ways to do this, and they just completely botched it and disrespected a legend across multiple genres.
Absolutely. Teresa?
Yeah, I totally agree. It was not only disrespectful, but it was just tasteless as it relates to who Babyface is. And honestly, I don't believe that is the first time that has happened on the red carpet with African Americans. So it's, again, just telling about, you know, the nuance of reporters and journalists who really don't have a basis about, you know, what it means to really create a legacy in music and have for real talent. But I think hopefully this is another clip that we will serve as an example in journalism of what not to do, and ultimately just how to treat people with respect. If you're going to do your job, do it with integrity and also uphold justice and your abilities.
And Jesse, let's be clear, Chappelle or whoever this child is, she ain't in Babyface's class or league. Right? We ain't even talking about, like, she may be new and hot, I ain't never heard of her, but she ain't even in the same league as Babyface.
Yeah, and I think we know that, and I'm pretty sure that the Associated Press knows that. I don't know if the person who was doing the reporting knows that. She seemed like she might also be young and just not hip to all of the classics that Babyface has laid on us for the past 30 years. So I think one of the things that we're seeing from this video is not just the disrespect of talent, but also the disconnect people have from the art form. She probably doesn't even know what a Babyface cassette, Babyface CD, Babyface MP3, she's never had any of that. And so it would behoove her to get educated on Babyface and his classics that she claims that she knows, and to show the proper respect on the red carpet for somebody who is a legend in the community.
But also, again, that's just not what you do. It happens. Yes, there's always confusion on red carpets, but the bottom line is you do the interview, and hey, you ask them. You may want to ask him 3 questions. You cut it to 1 question if you got somebody who's waiting, but that's really how that thing is done. But the big night, of course, was Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar came away with 5 Grammys, including Record of the Year and Song of the Year. Beyonce, of course, won Country Album of the Year, the first time she now joins 2 other artists. First of all, the first black woman to win a country award since the Pointer Sisters 40-plus years ago. And then, of course, in terms of solo, of course, that's my man Darius Rucker as well as Charlie Pride. And after she got screwed over by the CMAs with no nominations, well, she goes to the Grammys and gets Best Country Album.
And the Grammy goes to Cowboy Carter, Beyonce.
Expecting this. Wow. I want to thank God. Oh my God. that I'm able to still do what I love after so many years. Oh my God. I'd like to thank all of the incredible country artists that accepted this album. We worked so hard on it. I think sometimes genre is a cold word to keep us in our place as artists. And I just want to encourage people to do what they're passionate about. And to stay persistent. Wow. I'd like to thank my beautiful family, all of the artists that were collaborators. Thank you. This wouldn't have been this album without you. I'd like to thank God again and my fans, and I still am in shock. So thank you so much for this honor.
Then, of course, later in the night, she won for the first time Album of the Year for Country Carter.
It's going to be a tough one. As selected by the 13,000 voting members of the Recording Academy, the Grammy goes to Cowboy Carter, Beyonce.
I'd like to thank and acknowledge and praise all of the firefighters for keeping us safe. I just feel very full and very honored. It's been many, many years. And I just want to thank the Grammys, every songwriter, every collaborator, every producer, all of the hard work. I want to dedicate this to Ms. Martell, and I hope we just keep pushing forward, opening doors. God bless y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, y'all might remember last year when Jay-Z got the Dr. Dre award, he said this.
Obviously, it's subjective because, you know, it's music and it's opinion-based. But, you know, some things, you know, I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work. You know, some of you gonna go home tonight and feel like you've been robbed. Some of you may get robbed. Some of you don't belong in the category. All right, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
Wow, it was a whole lot last night, and after, of course, coming off the stage, Beyonce, Kevin Frazier with Entertainment Tonight caught up with Beyonce after finally making history.
You know how we waited for this moment. We waited for, I am so good, congratulations. This is a moment, I think, that you see people clapping in the media room. You saw the reaction out there. What does this mean to you?
It's very surreal, and it's been 25 years of just working really hard and trying my best to keep growing and keep opening up doors. So I'm just very honored, very honored.
Congratulations, and take this
Happy
as
that
well.
my daughter got to see that.
You know, it was great that she was there with you, and you took her up on stage. She's so grown though now. She is so grown.
Taller than me, I don't like it at all.
I mean,
So happy that she was here, and Rumi, who's on the album, my
Mm-hmm.
youngest daughter, she was watching. I forgot to thank her, so I get to thank her now. Thank you, Rumi.
And can I also say you did so much for so many country artists like Rhiannon Giddens and other folks who you hear them talk about. I saw her cry on CBS talking about the opportunity, that banjo lick and how it changed everything. How important was that?
Well, the banjo has a deep history, and I just feel honored to reintroduce some of that history that I think has been lost, and very, very honored that I got the response and the open heart, and people welcomed the album. The love I got from the country community tonight really made me feel so seen, and I'm very grateful.
Well,
They continue to open up the world for people that just love and respect the genre, no matter where they come from. Everybody should be invited. So
Now, of course, Teresa, it was a whole bunch of mad country folk last night. Oh, Lord. They were just so upset. She's not a country artist. And you know me, I was hate tweeting some of them because, you know, I'm petty like that. I'm real petty like that. And then you got this fool here. You take John Rich, of course, big time MAGA, and you know he posts. Folks are asking me, how do music award shows work? Labels, publishers all have blocks of votes. They make deals with each other. You vote for mine, we'll vote for yours type thing. It has zero to do with who made the best music. Thus, Beyonce with Country Album of the Year. Nice, right? The same thing is true with the CMAs, ACMs, Billboard, etc. All work exactly. Somebody later said, I did not realize Beyonce sang country music. He goes, she does it. And this goes to show you how stupid they are. And John Rich is an idiot. And Clay Travis, who's a MAGA radio personality, same thing. And this is real clear. They can all go to hell. This is what I said on my Congo. I tweeted last night. I said Ray Charles was not a country singer, but he did put out country music. Lionel Richie, not a country singer, but he put out country music. And his album, Tuskegee, went to #1 on the country chart. So they can all go to hell.
Lil Nas X, you know, you could add that as well, Old Town Road, right? And so my favorite line from her speech, she said, genre is a code word to keep us in our place. And she said that for the music industry, but that's the case across all of our industries, that they don't want us in, whether it's media, whatever it is. And so that was really powerful. And, you know, honestly, you know, if you like an artist, you're kind of like, when they get a Grammy, you're like, that's pretty cool. You know, but for Beyonce, I was genuinely happy for her because she's become one of my favorite artists. Always respected the talent, of course. But I respect artists who use their skills to make a social commentary on things. And she did that by getting involved in the election. She's done that with a lot of her service projects. And she's done that with Cowboy Carter by bringing the Black country experience and origins to the forefront. And so for that, and she worked so hard to do that. And the CMAs played her. And she got her ultimate revenge. What did Frank Sinatra say? The best revenge is massive success. And to be able to do that with her child right there as well, it's just a beautiful thing. We need to support people across multiple genres who do their job to push the culture forward, and Beyonce does that, and I wish more artists would take her lead. Congratulations.
I really didn't give a damn what none of these haters had to say last night, Teresa, and I really didn't. And they can still whine and complain, but it's kind of like, we don't care.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think she said it very clear on stage, you know, or actually Jay-Z said it in terms of they're in the business of opinion. So, you know, there are going to be those who love what you do. Beyonce is a class act. She is very multi-talented. And, you know, honestly, people will tell you if they do not like the music. But she's put out some great hits, has found some great collaborations. One thing about Beyonce, you'll never see 2 songwriters. There's always 10 or more. Producers are always multifaceted. it's just a great blend and a great ear that she has that's able to put out this music. So it's unfortunate the hate that we see. It seems like it's increasing, especially on this X platform at an astounding rate. But it's also the love that she's getting and what she is still doing, you know, in her 25 plus years of being in the music business. So we appreciate, you know, what she continues to do in the music industry and also philanthropy.
But Jesse, the real deal is white conservative folk don't believe any non-white conservative people should be doing music, should be doing country music. That's just the bottom line. And when all these people were sitting here acting a fool last night, I just had to dig into my archives and pull out a Plies video for all of them. I sent several of them, including country singer John Rich this year.
You wanna argue? I can't argue with you. No, you mad. Look at you. You mad. You big mad. I'm happy. Leave me alone. I just want some money. A lot of money. I don't get paid to argue with you. No. Who is you? You ain't nobody.
No, you cut it off. No, come on. No, go back. You cut it off early.
You mad.
Jesse, that's what I sent him.
The first thing I thought about when I saw Beyonce accepted her awards last night was, I can't remember who the country artist was that was at the inauguration, kind of, I guess, their version of an after party, who had all these little slights and darts to throw at Beyonce for being involved in country music and saying how we don't belong. Exactly as Beyonce says, genres that have been constructed to tell us what our place is supposed to be. But I think part of that anger just comes from the fact that you cannot impede on Black excellence anywhere. And it grinds their gears, the fact that doesn't matter what kind of genre she sets out to make music in, she's always going to be at the top. And historically, the only thing they had over her was her not getting the major award, the major album of the year. And now that's gone. So it's undeniable talent. We probably will never see anything like this again. Someone who can just pick up a microphone and just make transitions between genres look effortless. And then on top of that, you know, it never helps when people got a Black family that's proud and supportive in front of their face, and they don't want to see that because they want the world to believe that our families are crumbling and we're not successful. A Black, rich family who is at the peak of success, it's the worst thing that could ever happen to them. So I expect that the anger is going to continue to grow. But I just hope and pray that they continue to be successful and bask in it. And much like you, I will be sharing the same Plies video to the people in my feed who want to express hate.
Again, we don't give a shit what y'all think. At all. Ever. Never, ever, ever. Just ain't gonna happen. I don't really care what they think. I don't. So they can stuff. I tell you what though, if you were Drake, you did not have a good night.
Oh, whoa. Oh.
If Drake was watching the Grammys somewhere, I think there are some big screen TVs that need to get replaced this morning. That was, I'm like, you know, here's what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. You know, Jesse, there's a phrase that says, I don't punch down. I don't punch down. If you're Drake and you're selling and your streams are that high, I'm not getting to a back and forth with you. All I would have done is put out a video with me at a table full of money, just counting the money. I wouldn't even, I'm telling you, see, the mistake that people make is they want to get into this whole back and forth. Look, when Ja Rule was on top and 50 Cent came at him, Ja Rule was hot and 50 was like, yo, I got to come at him, take him down. Ja Rule should have went, you a pimple on an elephant's ass. But Drake chose to engage, and now he look like a fool suing the record label and all that. My deal would have been like, and then I'd be like, excuse me, I'm sorry, who? I'm sorry, who? Nah, whatever. Whatever. That's really what his response should have been. But man, last night, Kendrick come out with 5 Grammys and a Super Bowl next week. Yeah, ain't gonna be 2 good weeks for Drake. Ain't gonna be 2 good weeks.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what makes it funny is I was noticing the outfit they chose to wear, and I looked it up, and it's called a Canadian tuxedo.
A Canadian tuxedo. Jean on top of jean.
And the other part from last night that really stuck out to me was at the part of the Not Like Us song when he talks about striking the chord, and it's probably A minor. The entire audience of people who would have been Drake's colleagues were singing the song in unison. So yeah, not a good week for Drake, and not going to be a good couple weeks because Kendrick Lamar is only warming up for what is soon to be a great halftime show next weekend.
I listen. Sometimes you just don't even. I'm telling you, when you at that level, hey, Omakonga, you just shake it off like, dude, I'm not entertaining you. You're not on my level. But what he chose to do was to engage, and it was like, man, it ain't gonna end well for you. And again, this is Jesse was talking about it. This is the Canadian tuxedo. Trust me, that was not happenstance, Omakongo.
His troll game is tight. I mean, his concert series is coming this summer. He's doing his show in Toronto on Father's Day. So, there's going to be more smoke for Drake. I didn't know about the Canadian Tux thing. Look, when a diss track wins a Grammy, that might be like the first time in history a diss track won a Grammy. You know you're done.
No.
You're lost. No. Drake.
No. It won Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Best Rap Record of the Year. Yeah, he walked away with 5 last night.
Off a diss track. And so, look, Drake is the #2 selling artist rapper of all time behind Eminem. And he's surpassed like Michael Jackson in some type of other categories. So like you said, man, you could just go back and chill, enjoy your money, drop the lawsuit, like just try to salvage your career, man, because you're going to keep losing like over these next few months because the tour's coming. So I don't know what you got in store, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. And that moment of the whole crowd singing Not Like Us, it's just, let it go, Drake. You lost. It's over.
I mean, Teresa, he won Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, Best Music Video, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, off of one song. Not Like Us. Damn. One song.
I mean, the title speaks for itself, so Not Like Us clearly means that you're in a category of your own. And let that be a lesson for anybody that's putting a diss track out. Make sure it's fly, because you might walk home with 5 or more Grammys.
Listen, I got haters, and this is what I do.
That's right.
I'm not spending time on you. I ain't spending no time on you. Let them talk to themselves. And if people keep saying, but you gotta respond. No, I don't. I'm gonna go on about what I do, and you can do whatever you wanna do. But that ain't what he did. First of all, somebody goes, Roland has no clue what the F happened with Drake because he started it. Okay? You didn't hear what I said. Ignorant as DOC. You didn't hear what I said. I'm not about to sit here and engage. If somebody is not on my level, I'm not about to engage with you because you're not on my level. That's what I was saying. Like, you're not on my level. right, gotta go. Jesse. Jesse and McConaughey, Teresa, I appreciate it. Y'all be on the show. Thank you so very much. Hey, folks, that's it for us. I'm going to see y'all guys tomorrow right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Don't forget, support the work that we do. Look, ain't nobody doing what we do every single day. The black news that we cover, talk about the issues that matter. That's what's most important. And so nobody in black-owned media is doing it. And you know, what you get on mainstream media is boring as hell. So we're going to keep bringing the funk, doing what we do. Your support is critically important, so please join our Bring the Funk fan club. The goal is to get 20,000 folks on average, giving $50 each a year. That's $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. Of course, you can support us via Cash App. The Stripe platform is how you can give to us via Cash App. QR code is right there. You can also, of course, send your check and money order to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 2003-7-0196. PayPal, R. Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Be sure to get, of course, copy of my book, White Fear, How the Browning of America is Making White Folks Lose Their Minds, available at bookstores nationwide. You can get the audio version on Audible, which I read. You can also, of course, get our merchandise, our Roland Martin Unfiltered Black Star Network merchandise. By going and get that hashtag. We tried to tell you, FAFO 2025. Also, don't blame me. I voted for the black woman. Get all that merchandise. QR code is right there. Go to rolandmartin.creator-spring.com. rolandmartin.creator-spring.com. And don't forget, download the app Fanbase. And be sure, of course, to if you want to invest in this crowdfund, of course, you can do so at startengine.com/fanbase. Startengine.com/fanbase. All right, y'all. That's it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Holla! Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?